Welcome to another community group. Hopefully you've already had a great time eating, hanging out. This week is not an easy one. Hopefully you're there Sunday also. But James 5, 1 through 6, where James is going to deal with us as it pertains to money and riches. And we just called the message, "What do your resources say about you?" So read James 5, 1 through 6, and then come right back. As we talked about on Sunday, many of us will want to try to wiggle around who's rich, and we'll want to say like, "Oh, good, this isn't for me." But based on the economics of the world, the majority, darn near every single one of us, would find ourselves in the category of rich. And in verse 2 and 3, James says, "Your wealth has rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days." Pretty heavy stuff, as our stacks of things and kind of what we've been wasteful with or not, that we've been hoarding together while others had need, will testify and speak about us, against us. And my question is, what does my stuff say about me? Does my stuff and my resources and the way I use them say that I'm generous? And how? Why would they say that? Or does it say that I'm focused on self? Or maybe it says that I'm struggling. I don't know what it is for you, but I'd love for you to share as a group and answer the question, what does my stuff say about me in view of verses 2 and 3? In verse 5, it kind of carries on with the same thought that ended with, and it says, "You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter." And that we regularly and rightly, I think, prepare for certain days. We prepare for a day where we might have an emergency, so we have an emergency savings, or we prepare for a day of retirement, so we have retirement savings. But have we laid up for ourselves or stored up for ourselves treasures in heaven? Have we blessed God by caring for the needs of others and pushing forth the gospel? And I think it's a good question for us to ask ourselves is, as I've used my money to prepare, have I prepared for that day? And what the Bible says, the day of judgment, the day of slaughter, have I just tried to worry about my own comforts and life being soft or life being easy? Or have I focused on God's mission and whatever it takes to make sure that that happens? So the question is, have I prepared for that day also? Lastly, we saw that Paul writes to Timothy. We looked at 1 Timothy chapter 6 about commanding the rich to be rich, or rich in good deeds and rich in their generosity, and talked about how can we do well with what God has blessed us with? And so we kind of had three thoughts around that, as we can use it to reach the lost, to care for the needy, and to support those in ministry or to support the church's ministry in giving to the church. And so it's not an either or, it's an and also. And so the question is, how can I move forward being more generous in those three areas: reaching the lost, caring for the needy, and supporting those in ministry? Have fun answering that. Afterwards, pray with each other. I love you, and I'll see you soon.